Dave, you nearly made it as a golfer, but you crossed a line in 1968, 50 years ago.
Oh, right, yeah, 50. Okay.
Talk to us about the Ulster Boys.
Well, yeah, I kind of made it to the final somehow or other, and this is supposed to be like the cream of Northern Ireland golf. So anyway, consequently, there's big crowd there, probably, I don't know, maybe 500 or 600 anyway. So unfortunately, they're a little bit disappointed with the standard that they saw. So after 9 holes, there was only about 16. Most of them just went back to the clubhouse. So my mates, they followed me around just for the laugh. I was so bad. So anyway, I've actually got beat by 4-3 by this guy, Johnny McNeilly from Hollywood, who I think just quit the game about a week later. It was so at the presentation, I can remember the GUI chap saying, well, first of all, I'd like to apologise about the standard of golf. So that's just how bad it was. So yeah, but 4-3, beaten finalist in the Ulster Boys. So that was it. Claim to fame.
What were your ambitions as a golfer?
Oh no, I mean at one stage, yeah, I sort of thought I wanted to be a pro golfer, but there was no coaching in those days, so more or less we just sort of did our own thing. And eventually, like when you meet the likes of John O'Leary playing in the North, or Padraig Harrington, you go, right, okay, this is an easy decision. Yeah. So I couldn't cope with that. So yeah, but I mean, I always knew I was going to do something in golf, so it ended up to be caddying.
And tell me, who was your first kind of professional bag?
I was a lady golfer. Her name was Vivian Brownlee. So I was actually over in America trying to buy persimmon woods heads to bring back to Ireland. It was a business plan that was sort of like ill-founded, considering it was like kind of 1-to-1 the exchange rate. So yeah, it was never going to work. So, but I was actually at this ladies' event, having a meeting with somebody, and this lady needed a caddy. So I said, well, I'll do it. So worked for her for 5 weeks. Never saw a Saturday. And that was it. That sort of kick-started me off. So
if you were to kind of rapidly go through who you've worked with since Vivian Brownlee, because it's worth pointing out that you are, and I think this is a great landmark, you're the oldest caddy working on the European Tour at this moment in time, and you have caddied for some big names. You've been there for some big moments, but if you were to kind of go through it, chronologically, if you've still got your marbles about you, can you do that?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's quite easy, really, because I was very fortunate. I mean, I hadn't really been caddying hardly at all whenever I started to work for Nick Faldo. There was probably more players than caddies back then, so I worked for Nick for 3.5 years, and then worked for Nick Price for 6 years. Had a bit of a sabbatical, I got married, had a son, so kind of like quit for about 7, and then my wife knew that I was, I was missing it. Yeah. So then I started working for Mark McNeilly. That was for 1 year, and then Padraig asked me to work for him, and I worked for Padraig for 6, and then Nicholas Fast for 5. So they're all kind of quite long stints. So I haven't actually worked for that many players, Yeah. So they're all kind of long stints. So
the last few years have been what?
Well, the last few years I had prostate cancer, which kind of took me out of it. So also too, there's a bit of a stigma about that. I don't think people kind of sort of thought I was physically capable of doing it, So, but when I came back, I actually worked for a guy called Callum Shinkman. Yeah. Really talented guy, and we had good fun. Worked for him on the Challenge Tour, and he got
Scottish lad.
No, English.
Oh, he's English.
Yeah, he's English. He's from Hertfordshire. So, and then he got his card, graduated onto the European Tour.
That's right.
I worked for Callum for a year there. And then I just started up with Matt Wallace last July, so I'm pretty much back in the full swing of it again, so enjoying it. Yeah,
so Matt obviously and yourself had a lovely victory earlier in 2018 at the Hero Indian Open at the DLF.
Yeah.
What a course.
Yeah, I mean, to do it on a golf course like that, it's certainly one of the hardest golf courses that we have. Well, in fact, I think I'm right in saying that the owner instructed Gary Player, the designer, to make me the hardest course there is on the European Tour, and so consequently it was nice to win on the golf courses, with that sort of severity, so that's even more gratifying. And the way Matt finished it off, proved that I've got a player who's got, he's got steel. He really has he's a hard competitor, and that's who I like to work for.
So just to kind of fill in a couple of the blanks to finish, you've got a great reputation in the caddying trade because of your attention to detail, because of the lengths that you go to, and because of your own standards.
Yeah.
Some of the best players want you on their bag because you will go the extra mile. Can you explain that, within your nature?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think there's a fine balance, though. I do believe, and looking back on it, I had a wonderful success with Podrick, but my relationship with him actually might have turned for the worse because of that, because I might have been just doing too much. And I had a look at that afterwards, and I sort of think there is a fine balance between, going over the top, which I think maybe I had arrived at that stage with Podrick, and it became detrimental. So, but I do like to, pay a lot of attention to detail. But I think that there's a fine balance. I think you do have to keep, keep your own energies, so that you're ready for whenever the fight starts. That you're all up and running, ready to go. So. Yeah. So, but Matt and I, we sort of speak the same language. We're always looking to how we can improve. So I'm never going to change from that. I'm always looking for ways to improve. So yeah, and this game, nobody's ever going to perfect this game.
Yeah.
So, but that's a great challenge, though. I love it. And that's probably one of the reasons why I still enjoy it. I'm never bored by it.
And for those who love golf but realise that they can't make it as a player. You had that realization back in 1968 that you didn't quite have it. You were good, but you weren't good enough.
Yeah.
And isn't it good to be able to learn that early? Because some people are living the impossible dream, obviously.
Yeah.
But you figured a way out to continue to, love the game, be involved in the game.
Yeah.
And here you are 50 years later.
Yeah. And I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, I am the oldest caddy on the tour, but I think that probably, when I look at it, I think we're kind of designed to move, so I still feel very young and I'm fit, and this is a very hilly golf course this year, and yet I cope with it well, so I do think that this job actually does sort of, gives you longevity, so yeah, that's, which is a real plus, I'm 66, so, but anyway, but I don't feel that at all, I don't in any way.
Well, you don't come across as someone who is of that age, you know what I mean? And that's a great thing, though. I mean, you're very lucky in that respect.
Very lucky in that respect, yeah. As I say, I mean, I see some people who my age, and they kind of seize up. They get to this age and they don't move around so much. So consequently, their posture changes. But the caddying is great for me. Really is. It just keeps me active, moving around, and it's great to be involved with with the new breed, because the golf is changing rapidly. The standard is just incredibly high. So it's nice to be involved in that. So a word to those who want to get into the business or want to be caddies, want to be inside the ropes. What say you, Dave McNeilly? It's really tough now. It's very, very difficult. There's a lot of regular guys now struggling to get work. So it's a whole different ball game. So. Yeah, it's there's a few people do ask me that question, and really, it's almost like you have to start the next division below, which is the Challenge Tour, to actually come straight out onto the European Tour and try to get work. It's almost it's foolhardy, really, because you're going to cost yourself a lot of money just hanging about. But I feel the same about broadcasting, and it really annoys me sometimes when I see people parachuted into a network. That haven't done the dog years in local radio or pirate radio or local newspapers. Right. And all of a sudden, they're thrust into the limelight, and it happens all the time. Yeah. But I just say, well, there goes, all right, I'll see you in 3 years' time, see where you are. You know what I mean? Because you do need to serve your time, and you do need to be kind of realistic in your approach. And I'm just talking from a broadcaster's perspective. Yeah. But it seems all relative. It's the same in the caddying game. It is. Oh, yeah. I mean, actually, coincidentally, my son has just started his caddying career. And anyway, so he's on the Challenge Tour. He's trying to make it. What's his name? Oliver. Oliver McNeilly. Yeah. Have to watch out for him. Yeah. So is he a chip off the old block, is he? Oh, he is actually. Yeah. I mean, he is. He's got my sort of dedication. Yeah. And he's he really wants to do it and do it well. Well, he's seen you do it, so he knows what lengths you go to. Yeah. And I suppose when he sees the lifestyle, there's some. The lifestyle here is great. Yeah. This is just fabulous office. Doesn't come much better than this. Cypress trees and it's on the shores of Lake Garda. Sorry, that was just another caddy. Oh yeah. That's three now that's gone past me doing that. All right. Look, we'll have to continue this another time, but it's been fascinating. I've been an admirer of yours for a long time. Well, thank you very much, Shane. And I actually want to acknowledge you for being the only person to remember the 1968 Ulster Boys. I think even Johnny McDonald, the winner,
I
is
know.
still trying to forget it.
Well, I have to tell you, like, I mean, you know, I've a voracious appetite for yearbooks and record books since I was a kid. And I spotted that in a lovely compilation that was put together by Pat Ruddy many years ago.
All right, okay.
Golfer's Companion, I think it was, and I
Yeah.
was just flicking through it.
Yeah.
That's years ago, and I just
Yeah.
see D. McNeilly. The club you were playing out of at the time was?
Green Ireland.
Yeah.
I'm still a member there.
Yeah, yeah. And I said, that's got to be Dave McNeilly.
I know it is.
He was a boy golfer.
Oh man, it's oh yeah.
But you know, everyone has their story.
Yeah, yeah,
That's yours.
yeah, yeah,
And 50 years on, look at you.
yeah, yeah. Oh
you,
yeah.
you are
yeah.
one of the, you know, you're one of the established
Yeah.
good guys on tour, and there's a reason why you keep getting good bags. It's because you're very good at what you do.
Yeah.
And I just want to acknowledge that, and wish you all the best with Matt this week.
Okay.
And I look forward to having further conversations with you, Dave.
Thank you very much, Shane. Thank
You're
you.
one of the good guys.
Thank you. No, thanks very much.